Getting cold. It's getting cold. Thanksgiving's over. We're into Advent. You know what that means. The wreaths are coming out. Well, why do we use wreaths? What's the point? Coming up on a moment more. There's few things better than when you walk into a place, especially if they are in the winter, close to Christmas, or in the Christmas season, and you see a new wreath, but a fresh wreath. And so you walk in, and what more hits you than anything else? The smell. It's the smell that really, it's like, yeah, I'm in the right spot. It's good stuff. But the question is why, especially the Advent wreath, and when I speak of the Advent wreath, the one with the different candles. So where did this come from? And actually, this is a long time before us. You know, there's a lot of things that were pre-Christian that were used. And then over time, we begin to adopt them or change them, and they evolve. But the Advent wreath was definitely one in the Germanic areas and different parts of Europe that began to come in. I know pre-Christian people would often, when it was wintertime, they would have candles and wreath-like things, and they would light them. It had many different levels of symbolism, but it was more, with the hope, expectation, you can see where this is going, that spring would come, that warmth would come, and this light was kind of this anticipation of that. So you can see why the Christians would have used that in future times as well. We use it, or adopt it, I guess you would say later, for our own Christmas celebrations in anticipation of what is to come at Christmas. Now, we pour all kinds of the symbolic juice all over the Advent wreath and its candles, and so everything from what it's made of itself, the evergreens, these things that represent immortality of what is to come. The laurel is something that that was placed on one's head as a victory over persecution or persevering to the end. The holly, so if you see the holly pieces that they form parts of it, the prickly leaves that this recalls the crown of thorns. You can pour all kinds of stuff in it. The candles themselves, 4 purple candles, 1 for each week of Advent. Even though in times in history, there were times early on when it was 5 weeks or even longer where they would take more weeks to celebrate it. But for now, the 4 weeks, these 4 candles, 3 that are purple, the penance, so we talked about that and kind of that idea before. 1 that is rose, where there's a little bit of lightness, levity that's brought in on that halfway point. We reach past the halfway point, take a breather, rejoice, gaudete, rejoice in what is to come, in this anticipation of our Savior who is to come. And so the color foreshadows that, and it's something that we can look at. There's some say it's like, each candle's 1,000 years, and it represents the 4,000 years between Adam and Eve and Christ's coming. Some people say that, each one has a name. What are the different names? It's the prophet's candle, the Bethlehem candle, the shepherd's candle, and the angel candle. Each one has its own name, and there's different ones, hope and faith and joy and peace. Each week is something that can be focused on. You can pour all kinds of good stuff on there. But more than anything else, what do we recall? All of these things, the light of the wreath, and even now you see this new tradition of putting a white candle in the center that's lit on Christmas Eve to symbolize Christ and his light. It's an anticipation. The light grows around the wreath. We're anticipating something to come. And the wreath is this visible manifestation of that. So see that. See the lights this weekend. You'll see the 3rd light lit. That means we're getting a little closer. So see that and realize someone, not something, someone is coming. And John the Baptist says, prepare the way. Prepare the way for the Lord. So the Advent wreath smells wonderful. Can't wait to see them around the churches. Very excited for that to come, especially here at St. Thomas More. So we see where that will go here in the days to come. But we're excited to smell and see and taste all the great things that this Advent and Christmas season will bring. All right, that's a moment more. See you next week.